Good morning, B. How is it going? Let's see here.
Good morning,
Good morning, B. How's it
everybody. I
going?
can't hear you, Mom. If you could take it off mute for us.
Oh, I'm
How
not
you
on
doing? How you
mute.
doing?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Still can't hear you. While she's working that out, welcome everybody to the End This Season podcast on day 140. 140. While we get technical issues worked out on my side, you guys are just going to be with me for a second. But welcome as people join the chat. Let us who you are, where you're coming from, and maybe send this link to someone that can benefit from this. So, Mom, how you feel? How's everything on your side? How's the vibe?
I'm good. They can hear me. Can you hear me?
Good. I can hear you. I can.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, I
Let's
just got a word from Mike that
fill
he
this
could
out.
hear me fine.
Okay. Good.
So,
Good.
what's going on? What's going on?
Nothing much. Nothing much. Just enjoying this morning. Got my coffee. It's extra light today, so I know it's sweet. I ain't tasted it yet, but it's extra sweet. How's things on your side?
The same. I got my coffee. I slept in a little bit this morning, a little bit
Good.
later. So, we should be all good. We should be good for Instagram too over there, Brandon. So
Okay.
yeah,
Good.
got
Good.
my
Good.
coffee,
It looks
y'all.
like it's coming up.
Good, good,
Well, cool.
good.
Thank y'all
Everything, everybody.
for.
Miss Brenda says, and happy Juneteenth. Yeah, that's right. Happy Juneteenth, everybody, and good everything. How are y'all
Good,
celebrating
everything. Yeah,
Juneteenth
big,
today?
big celebration.
Are you
There's
celebrating
supposed to
today, Brandon?
be an event. There's supposed to be an event that on Memphis that I think I'm gonna stop by and go to. It don't look. It's a little rainy outside, so I don't know how much I'll be able to get done. Um, you know, business wise and things like that. Outside. But maybe that means I should celebrate Juneteenth. Like something that I wanted to celebrate this year. I know last year I celebrated in a more of a passive way, but I would like to do something. Somebody invite me to a barbecue, but there's supposed to be this thing called Tone here in Memphis that I'm probably gonna attend. I think Erica Badu is supposed to come. A couple other people are coming, and I want to celebrate Black culture. This I want to celebrate Black freedom, Black liberation, and I know it's not complete yet here in the States. I know things aren't completely equitable. I know we haven't received. This is a good topic for us to bring up on June. What do y'all think about reparations? It's a topic that's often brought up on Juneteenth. So I'll be contemplating things like that, like the status of America. Where do we go from here? Thinking about that Dr. King book, reviewing kind of the distinguished, honored African and venerated African Americans in our history, and thinking about what would they say today? How would they view our community today?
Hmm.
And what does their legacy look like? What are the ripple effects of their legacy um, that I could make waves with today? So that's. But I think a lot of times sometimes when we make things holidays, we get caught uh, in the desire part of it, like, oh, what we gonna eat, we gonna drink, who we gonna see, things like that. On a day like Juneteenth, I think it deserves a little more contemplation. I think it deserves a little more regard, respect, and we should dignify ourselves today, not get drunk and do these different, what I mean, things that sometimes people do on holidays or holidays. But
Hmm.
let's dignify today and celebrate Black culture, Black brilliance, Black ingenuity, Black genius, Black love, um, you know, all of that, Black family. So let's celebrate us today. but let's do it with dignity. Let's do it with honor. Let's do it with love. What about you, Mom? You celebrate?
No, don't have any plans to, and I don't plan to really leave the house today. So, um,
That's celebration to me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like, and
It's a
not taking
celebration.
anything. Yeah, I'm not. I don't plan on. It's been a long time since I've gone to one, but a celebration. I do think that we should start celebrating in a different way, and like you're saying, a more
Yeah.
culture learning, right? Like what we do here now, digging deep to um, talk about and determine how to heal and move forward in a unified manner so that we
Yeah.
see the divinity and the unity within ourselves so that we can better that we can love better, so it's like what you said, things have become, it's like the 1 year old's birthday that costs $4,000, and they're all in these things, like, that money could be saved in so many ways. I just think we are hungry for something that we no longer have to be, and the hunger keeps us from dealing with ourselves and the issue at hand. The hunger keeps us distracted. The internal
Hmm.
hunger that many things have caused us. We avoid them and we use things to replace them, which means we continue to have that shiny new object syndrome. We keep wanting, wanting, wanting because we're feeding the ego and not the spirit. So,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it makes me think of something. Dollars are not band-aids. $100 bills are not band-aids. No
yeah,
matter how many $100 bills you put around a gaping wound, it won't heal it.
yeah.
And I think it's easy to uh, it's easy to kind of regress into materialism after the progress of civil rights, civil liberties, freedom, any progress that we've made. It's easy for the next generation to regress and to take that progress for granted, especially when there's materialism and, like you said, this insatiable, like this hunger, right? This insatiableness. You can't be, you're never full,
Right.
right? Um, and, and that is a telltale sign that there's an overcompensation for some missing within. That
Hmm.
we're trying to use tangible things to heal intangible wounds. The bodies can look fine, but if the heart is corrupted kind of way or broken in any kind of way, then the rest of that's actually a hadith from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was that there's a thing inside, and we've spoken about this. There's a thing in the body that if it is good, then the rest of the body is good and well. But if it is sick, corrupted, if it is damaged, wounded, then the rest of the body is the same: damaged, wounded, sick, corrupted. So, um, on this Juneteenth, what assess the heart of Black America? Assess your heart as a Black American. Assess the heart of Black families, Black business, um, matters of the heart.
I was typing it as you were saying it, y'all. I'm telling you, I love it. I love
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
can't
yeah.
can't beat it.
I
So
think one
let's
of the
think
most
about that today on
powerful.
this Juneteenth.
I think one of the most powerful verses is that which tells you to guard your heart. And we are so afraid
Mm,
to do it. We are so afraid to guard the heart, for out of it flows your issues, your issues. So when you don't guard it, look around you, just like with the money thing. Look around you. If you want to know why you work or what's important to you or how I'll say what you're working for, right? And most times it's that band-aid. It's the big band-aid, right? That you may need the big house. And I say that, y'all, because there's a want. I want a big house. There's I need a big house. And even that sometimes, because if you want it because number one, you can afford it. Number two, you have family to house in it, right? And if you're valued, if you don't feel devalued and invaluable because you don't have it, then yes, by all means. But when you need things that you don't need, there's a difference. And when those things make you feel like you don't measure up, there lies the issue. So if you want to know, sometimes people will buy things that will keep them working a lifetime. They don't get to enjoy them, right? So look around, look around, look around, and take personal inventory of your heart, and then
Yes.
learn to guard it. So over to you, Brandon. We'll get on this days. We have. I guess I'll read the comments here before we get started. Big Mike is in. He says, "Good morning, Miss Brenda.
Good
Good
morning.
everybody. Happy Juneteenth." Mark Walker says, "Good morning. Thank you for rocking back with us, Mark." Mike says, "We'll be starting to day trade. Got a great mentor that is showing me how he makes money on a daily basis." So big ups to you, Mike.
Good job,
Brandon says reparations are possible. The money is there. They are giving money to other countries, but they always act like the money is not there for reparations. All right. Mike says, "I'll be resting and watching some baseball. Took the day off." And Auntie Richetta says, "Good morning, beautiful butterfly and family." All right. Any Instagram comments over there?
No, we got a couple people jumping in, but no comments as of yet. Y'all give me some comments as you come through. Some people are popping in and popping out,
All right.
but none
Well,
as
let's
of
do it.
yet. Let's jump right into it. Let's jump right into it. So really quick before we get started, if there's anyone on YouTube, whether you're watching this live or you've come and found this video after it has already been posted, thank you for coming. If this is your first time or you've been here before, um, you're in for a great show. You're in for another sequence of the In the Season podcast where we go through daily motivations for African American success, a book by the author Dennis Kimbro. And this is what the book looks. Please go to Amazon. I ain't gonna listen. If you want it, if you want some good encouragement, some information, some motivation for every single day, um, get this book. It's a low cost, high value book. A little bit about this book. It'll help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and the deeds or the actions that will lead to the achievement of your true goals in 365 short, powerful motivations, one for each day of the year. Dennis Kimbro, who's the author of Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, leads us to discover and how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude and mindset, become wise enough to know when to say yes, when to say no, and how to look inward for answers to life's challenges. Each motivation begins with words of wisdom and a quote from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans as Malcolm X, Marion Wright Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Galt, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, Mother Hale, Reverend Leon Sullivan, and hundreds of others. This treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year, but what it teaches will last you a lifetime. What it teaches will last you a lifetime, and I can testify to that personally. This book follows me around. It's a confidant. It's a friend. It's a guide for me. It's a reference point on culture. And it gives me a look forward, a look back a little bit. Um, and most importantly, it gives me kind of it primes me to be present, because I'm always thinking about, what did I learn today? What did I go over this morning with my in this season family, right? So we ought to start coming up with uh, little nicknames for each. I thought about this the other day, like the in this season podcast. What if we call, like, I call myself lemon pepper seasoning. You call yourself some other kind of season, you
Lemon
know,
pepper season.
whatever, you might be paprika or something. I don't know. But I just thought that would be funny, because I was like, well, there's the four seasons, but we always say it's a cookout, and I think it would be funny to I don't know, to do something with different seasonings, So maybe there's more seasons to being a human in the experience of life than there are seasons in the year. So that's a whole nother tangent of me just thinking. But y'all, again, thank you for coming to the cookout, or in Memphis, the barbecue. Welcome, and let's jump right into the passage. Mom, you got anything before we do?
I'm ready to do it.
Let's do it. So today, on this June 19th,
June 19th.
the title is, drum roll please, Read My Lips. Read My Lips is the title for today. And the quote comes from Eleanor Holmes Norton, who is a lawyer and a legal professor, who said, many people don't actually lie. They merely present the truth in such a way that nobody recognizes it. Many people don't actually lie. They merely present the truth in such a way that nobody recognizes it. And that's again from Eleanor Holmes Norton, the lawyer and legal professor. And the passage goes as follows. Shout out to Power Diesel House 144 who just joined the chat. Have you ever wondered how and why certain individuals, corporations, institutions, or organizations became successful, and why some who achieved outstanding success subsequently failed? The answer is integrity, or lack of it. Integrity is the cornerstone in building and maintaining success. The achievement of true integrity and well-rounded character is in itself success. Perhaps the best definition of ethics or integrity was given by Thurgood Marshall, former Supreme Court Justice, who said, "The good thing about telling the truth is that you don't have to remember what you said." The following tale is an excellent example. A salesman in an expensive restaurant paid his check, turned to the stranger at the next table, and said, "Would you like to buy an airline?" The stranger said he wasn't interested. "I didn't think so," the salesman said. "I just wanted to be able to say that business was discussed at this meal when I submit my expense account." He said, "I didn't think so. I just wanted to be able to say that business was discussed at this meal when I submit my expense account." There are many reasons why honesty, ethics, and integrity would significantly contribute to your well-being. In a broad sense, they would give added purpose to your life and would focus attention on the many practical benefits of having a regard for the needs of others. Even the most gifted persons fail in their trade or profession if they do not develop inviolable moral standards of integrity.
Hmm.
And that's the end. And the affirmation for today, the encouragement, the motivation for today, that we read 3 times. 1 time for you, 1 time for me, but and 1 time for the person that you're going to send this invitation to, is the truth is one thing for which there are no known substitutes. The quality of truth will be the focal point of my life. Again, the truth is one thing for which there are no substitutes. The quality of truth will be the focal point of my life. And last time,
Hmm.
really dial into this. The truth is one thing for which there are no known substitutes. The quality of truth will be the focal point of my life. Over to you, Mom. What do you think about this?
So I'm gonna share something with you that happened last night, and it brings me also to a memory of something that happened maybe a couple months ago. So we have these things called RSVPs, where we invite people out, pitch the window presentation to them. And so I'm at the end, it's time to pay. And so I'm looking over the receipt and I'm like, okay, something's not right. Cause I'm all, I'm tallying up and expecting what it should be. So it's a little bit more than it should be. And so I'm going through and there's a $70.67 charge from my card, not my personal, my company credit card. And there's also a room fee, and there's also um, we use their screen, but we have our own, so we could have bought it, right? And I'm sitting there, I'm going through it as if it were my own, right? And getting kind of upset
Mm-hmm.
about the charges. And as I listened to this today, and matter of fact, one of the people that was still left, he stayed around with me. Um, he was kind of like, you're wow, and I'm like, it's not my business card. It's not my personal card, but it is the card for the business that I work for, right? And that somebody's going to pay for this, and it does trickle down. So I can sign it like I don't care and it doesn't matter because it's not going to hit me personally. Or I can do what I would want someone to do if they were working for me. Right? I wouldn't want them to just be okay with that. And another example, when I was on the phone and I was needing gas. And again, I would use my corporate card for it, but I was passing gas places that I thought was too high. And someone said to me, "What do you care? It's not you're not paying for it." I don't know how not to care about things like that because again, you guys, we plant seeds that will grow. We may not plant them in my backyard, but they will grow in our backyard, if that makes sense. And so when I think about the integrity, read my lips, and especially this quote, many people don't actually lie. They merely present the truth in such a way that nobody recognizes it. I feel we do well, some people recognize it. It's just that we say and do nothing. Remember the quote, evil prevails because good people say and do nothing. Good people don't feel that it's righteous to guard their heart or to speak up when evil
Mm-hmm.
prevails. Good people don't do it. So yeah, people of the lie. You guys Google people of the lie. The first time I heard this phrase was when I was reading um, Scott Peck's book, The Road Less Traveled. And it made me think about it. I just Googled, and now there's a book. I didn't know he wrote a book about people of the lie. And it says people who are evil attack others instead of facing their own failures. Peck demonstrates the havoc these people of the lie work in the lives of those around them. Think about a job. Some of you have jobs now that there's somebody walking around and they shouldn't be there. You know that they're causing chaos, and they do it so smooth that it makes you think you're crazy, right? So people don't lie. They just they are who they are. People will show you who they are all the time, and you know but you accept it as the truth, their truth and your truth. So, Brandon, I love this. It brings right back to what we were talking about guarding your heart, speaking up when you know that there's injustice going on, what we talked about yesterday. So injustice everywhere is a threat to us all, right? So I like it. And it is about character. Here we go again with that word character. We're building character here. And it's going to take individual character growth for this world to change. Someone not hating on you because you were, as we talked about yesterday, light skin, dark skin, high yellow, jet black. What's the big deal? What's the big deal? Right? Why can't we accept each other for what we are? Right?
Yep.
Release those old biases. Stop being so righteous that you can't even confront wrong. Right? Integrity, character, honest, truth. Just treat people the way that you want to be treated. Right? And then respect and love on yourself. Make sure that they treat you the way that you want to be treated. And if they don't, bye Felicia. Bye Felicia's in my life. I'll take you where you need to go, but you got to leave here. Truth, truth, integrity, character. Right? Remember the one, Brandon? Leaders are those who make the difficult decisions, have the difficult conversations. Don't be so righteous that you can't even have a difficult conversation. But sometimes it's not even about the righteousness, you guys. It's also about you not wanting to address things so that you can heal. Because healing is the result of love, period.
Mm.
Right?
Mhm.
Wherever there is love, there is healing. And you can't love if you can't be honest. Love cannot be there, prevail, be in the center of any relationship if you cannot be honest with people or if you're not willing to be honest with people. And it's really, we allow people to have scapegoats, right? That's
Yep.
it. We allow
Yep.
them. So over to you, Brandon.
I think you're absolutely right. Thank you, first, mom. First off, mom. I think you cannot heal what you don't reveal.
Mm,
You cannot heal what you don't reveal. There are things within us that need to be corrected. There are within us all, and I'm not um, saying that passively. I'm saying that factually. We are imperfect beings. There's always something for us to work on ourselves. And at the moment when we begin to think, or the seed is planted that we don't need anything, that we are perfect in and of ourselves, that we don't need to change, we are at the point of regression. We are at the point of turning it around. Do you know, before, if you're moving forward, this is a physics thing, but it's very simple, it's not complicated. If you're moving forward and then you move backward, there's a point when you're moving forward and then you stop. You're going maybe 5 miles an hour, 0 mile, zero, negative 5 miles an hour. The point when you start to think, I don't need to change. I don't need to grow. I don't need to do anything different. I just need to do me. And then, but here's the thing, you're always changing. So you doing you is something different. And that's why, there's a point, like I said, where you're going zero. And at that point, that's when you say, I don't need any change. That's the point where you're like, oh, I've made it. I've arrived, right? That's where you stop the progress of life. And if you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not growing, you're dying, right? You might be at the pause of life before you go negative miles per hour, before you go negative, and you start to regress. There's a couple things that also came to me. You talked about leadership and integrity, which is what this passage was about. Shout out to Roderick, AD like Sonny, who just joined us, one of our regulars. Appreciate you, bro. We read earlier, I think it was in this book, and mentioned that leaders, great leaders, are those who take a little bit more of the blame and a little bit less of the credit.
The kudos.
Those who take a little more of the blame and a little less of the credit for whatever happens. And why would a leader do this? And why is this important? Because it puts the leader at a point of integrity. It's a humbling thing to remind the person in the position of leadership, and this is why it's a credit to them, to their character, for them to have developed this type of character, and why it's important for leaders to have this, because the position of leadership is not so much a position of command as it is a position of service. And when you are serving, what do they say? The customer's always right. Right. So in that situation, you're taking a little bit more of the blame, right? You're taking the blame for this whole organization. Y'all forgot to put ketchup on my burger. It ain't, ma'am, I'm just the you could easily say, man, the receptionist, I'm just the person at the counter. I didn't put the ketchup or not put the ketchup on your burger, right? But that's not good etiquette, right? Ma'am, we're sorry about that. We'll get you another one. Or we'll do you mind us taking that back and putting, or would you like a whole nother burger? Right? So don't be Burger King. Be Chick-fil-A. And y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Don't be the late night Wendy's, right? Where you go through the drive-thru sometimes and fries might be cold. You know, they might not have ketchup. I have never been to a Chick-fil-A and they didn't have ketchup. Now, how about the same 18-wheelers that go to every other store? And lo and behold, Chick-fil-A that's the same size as the McDonald's, the same size as the Burger King. I don't know where they put all the chicken. I don't know where they put all the chicken. But somehow they got all the chicken, all the ketchup, all the sauce, all the Polynesian sauce. You see what I'm saying? All the barbecue sauce, all the lemonade, the ice cream machine ain't never been down. Now, I've been going to Chick-fil-A for 20 years, more than that now. So I would rather go there. And I mean, fast food in general, I don't promote, but I would rather go there because of their values, because of their integrity. And so in the beginning of this passage, if I remember correctly, it says that businesses, people, organizations, institutions are made or broken based on their integrity. Right? I might be craving something else from another place, right? But I have to think, if they do it right this time, if they got the ketchup. And I would rather be safe than sorry. I would rather go somewhere where I know these people have values. They have a code of ethics by which all of their employees have conscripted to, signed their name to, agreed to. I'd rather go there because I know I can get consistency. Because I know that they take a little bit more of the blame and a little bit less of the credit. My boy Roger just said, "My pleasure," the Chick-fil-A slogan. My pleasure. Right? The Hispanic people have this saying, con mucho gusto, right? They're like, oh, he did that with a lot of gusto, like con mucho with a lot of gusto, with a lot, like they do it with pride, they do it with integrity, right? So integrity goes a long way. It gives value intrinsically. It gives value to something that might be the same. That you can do. We spoke about this, Mom. You can do something bad. You can say something bad. You can advise somebody to do something wrong, but do it in a good way,
Mm.
in a nice way, and you will beautify something that is morally wrong. Or you can tell somebody to do the right thing. You can be 100% right, but the way that you communicate it is ugly, bad
Yes.
tone. I'm speaking to myself first, y'all, because sometimes I'm a victim of this. Um, and and you will take away from the beauty of that deed, right? You will amplify it, if that's a word, right? So give me a second, put my charger in. There we go. So all integrity. You can be righteous with integrity, but to be you can be right and be self-righteous, because that's righteousness with a lack of values and integrity, right? And that's the difference, I think, between righteousness and righteousness. You can be 100% right and 100% wrong in the way that you deliver it. 100%. Um, Also, on the matter of truthfulness and integrity, like they said, you don't have to remember. And I like have
The
to remember
truth.
what you said, because it's always the truth, right? So there are many practical benefits to um, ethics, integrity, and honesty. So how can this significantly value to your purpose of life? Truth be told, y'all, when we have integrity, we feel better about ourselves. We're liberated from it. We don't have to keep up the delusion or the lie or the perception of what people think of us, right? And I think, let's analyze, why do people lie? Why do they? What are the incentives of lying? It's usually to uphold a delusion or an illusion. It's to uphold something um, that serves them immediately, but 9 times out of 10, it corrupts them internally, and it decreases their success. So let's analyze that today. Um, and I wonder, let's go over this. I'll ask this to all the people out there. Why do you think this is titled "Read My Lips"? I'll ask you first, Mom. Why do you think this is titled "Read My Lips"?
Because I feel like people, what it's saying, people speak who they really are. Like they may do it in such a way it looks like the truth, because they've become the people of the lie, and they bought into their own self destruction and deception of self. So I feel like if you listen to people, right,
Hmm.
read their lips, hear what they're saying, and then watch what they do. So read my lips. That's my perception of it. That people will always tell you, you people can be the representative in the beginning, but you can't continue to be, you cannot continue to be not who you are, if that makes sense. I think they said that right. You always show up. You can only pretend for so long. So read my lips, hear what I'm saying, but watch what I do. Why? Because it goes in the passage and it starts talking about the integrity, the character. It shows us the salesman who just asked the question so he can cheat on his expense report, right? So read my lips, listen to what I'm saying, and then that's guarding the heart. That is guarding the heart to me, Brandon. Is hearing what people say, and it's not that you are, that you always got to be on watch for people, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that way of, I'm waiting for them to do something or say something and I'm trying to line it up. It's just listen to what they say. Listen to what they say, because people will. I've had people, y'all. I just had this not long ago. They would have told me something, told us the story. Gotta tell the truth, because you'll forget what the lie you told before. They told me the way something happened like a week or so before, and then they're sitting in front of me telling me the same story, because y'all know the older we get, we start to tell the same thing over and over again, right? So if you can't remember, you told it before to that person, but if you just remember the truth of the story, it's okay to repeat it. But if you're gonna keep telling the same story to the same person and then it changes every time, like, and I'm sitting there listening, like, so this wasn't the way the story went the last time. And so we have this sense of puffing ourselves up, or telling the lie sometimes to get what we want, the sympathy, maybe to get something out of us, right? Out of the person. So read my lips just means, to me, be intentional, listen to people, hear them, right? And then watch what they do. And KL said, read my lips, watch my actions.
Mm,
So
I like that. I think I remember in talking to my little sister about this when she was in high school. And I remember telling her, a man can fix his mouth to say anything, including I love you. It doesn't mean that he does. It doesn't mean that he understands the word love and what he's saying. So his a boy's efforts to woo you, or to, as the old folks say, court you. I know y'all ain't heard that in a long time. Are directly impacted by what he wants from you. And love, and that's seeking attachments. Love is more so what you seek to give at your expense sometimes. At the expense of your time, your space, your energy. It's more so what you want to give than what you want to receive. So I said a boy or a man can fix his mouth to say anything, but his actions, like KL said, will always show intentions. So give time, because actions speak louder than words, but words can come out a lot faster if you're not patient. And you will believe the words and not have had time to see the action. And the words can lie, but the actions can't. Right? So take time to see whether there's integrity behind the word. Without action is like faith without works. It's dead. Right? So I do have I want to present a moral quandary to us right now. So in the beginning of the show, I asked a question: what do you think about reparations? And I was hoping there might be reparations for African Americans, the descendants of the Africans that were brought here for chattel slavery, and who were impacted by that for 400 years, plus, I don't know, a couple years of Jim Crow. In the form of reparations, I propose this: if there isn't any money for reparations, and for this guy in the story here who says that, hey, do you want to buy an airline? No, I didn't think so. I just wanted to make sure that some business was, so I can put it on my expense report. For Black businesses, right? Let's say, is it wrong? Is it wrong to do something like that for your business? Is it wrong if a country that has, let's say, taken, so in the case of some of our family, where acres of land in Georgia have been taken away, right? Was it judiciously? Is it wrong to make the same cuts that, say, an Amazon business would do, where they make billions of dollars but pay no taxes. Morally, as far as integrity or ethically, is it wrong to evade uh, taxes? Why or why not? To me, that's an interesting quant. And also, so I would like you guys to answer that. You put that in the chat. Do you think it morally right or wrong to evade taxes in any kind of way? And um, and do you think that for reparations' sake, if the money isn't there for reparations, if for the next 400 years, if you're African American, a descendant of slaves, and you can prove you don't pay taxes, instead of reparations, how about we just taxes? So, two questions. What do you guys think about that? As not coming out of an account, out of the treasury, even though there's plenty of money there. America prints their own money and sit on the debt of other countries as collateral. But what do you guys think that morally, ethically, politically, socially, and think about not just the impacts that would have on your pockets. Think about maybe the impact that it would have socially on society. What impact would it have in education? So I don't know. That's just something I wanted to present to you all. And that's why it's a moral quandary, because like from the face, you know, Wesley Snipes, somebody that evaded taxes and skipped countries at one point, to evade taxes. Is it right or wrong when you have corporations, the billions of dollars, paying zero in taxes? So I just present that. Is that so? How do we assess integrity? How do we assess truthfulness? What is moral or ethical? In that sense, are we? Is it? This country was founded on the basis of, or in the Revolutionary War with the Boston Tea Party, which in many cases was a lie. Those were actually Americans that were throwing the tea off of the ship. They weren't white men who were looking to be liberated the taxation of Britain, but it was rather the Native Americans not they wanting to be paid, basically. But it was based on the being taxation representation. Do you think, for example, people that have committed felonies and served their time and aren't able to take benefit of the entire Constitution, aren't able to own a gun, to do certain things, but they still pay taxes? So is it, or black people not having, being gerrymandered in their locales and where the boundaries are for their voting counties and places? If we're not, are we being taxed at the same rates but have less representation? So I just wanted to present that on this Juneteenth as we look at integrity. I think these are the type of conversations that we should be having, right? These are the types of conversations we should be having, and what that looks like. So any comments there? What do y'all think?
So I'll get to the comments in just a second. I
Okay.
do want to. So you brought up Chick-fil-A, right? And I love Chick-fil-A, you guys. Many, many years ago, I remember pulling up to Chick-fil-A with a friend. We were heading out of town, and we went through the drive-through, and there was a young lady who was so, 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 so rude until we were like, I mean, literally, we're in the car like, what is going on? Where does this girl come from? And I mean, she was just as rude could be. And it was so unexpected for Chick-fil-A, right?
Mm.
So the manager was outside directing traffic, because y'all know how Chick-fil-A gets. And I said, sir, I said, I don't know what's going on with that young lady at the window, but she is not Chick-fil-A material. And he asked me what happened, and I mean, y'all, she was just rude for no reason. Could have been having a bad day, right? I don't know. But rude for no reason. And he said, I will take care of it. And he apparently, I guess, called somebody out, and we could see him going in and somebody coming out. Chick-fil-A is as different as night and day between from the others. But here's something that started to disturb me. This year, I started to see, because Brandon, you talked about the success of a company lies on their integrity. And I wanted to add and also the integrity of the people they employ, right? And what I see happening at Chick-fil-A and started to see this year, and I'm telling y'all, it disturbed me in a major way. Like the world is really going crazy because I started to go to Chick-fil-A and I started to see things were declining at this particular one that I was going to. The bathroom
Mm.
was dirty, right?
What?
They did run out of things. They seemed
Wow.
they just seemed in chaos. Like nobody, like they
Mm.
weren't working together anymore, right? And I submitted, I complained. Like I'm like, I don't know what's going on or who you've let in. And this goes back to, you know, people can you can let the wrong people can lie their way in to a business and into your life. So if they lie their way in, once you start to see the truth, it's your responsibility. It's your responsibility to speak up. And it's the way you do it for sure. Now, going back to your question about morally, I remember, and I was a young girl, like little, and it just amazes me that I still hear the words of my grandma. If it convicts you, then it's wrong for you. If it convicts you, and it may not convict you today, but because of your growth, it will tomorrow, right? I've come to the point where I used to could say, "Oh, I didn't get your email. I didn't get your phone call. No, I got it. And either I forgot. No, I got it, and I just didn't have time to call you back. I'm sorry, whatever." But I'm not going. Those little lies are not going to create a big lie in me, right? Because
Mm.
if you feel the need to say, "I didn't get it," but you know you did, that's a small thing. What else are you willing to avoid the truth about? And why do you need to? So if it convicts you, it is wrong for you. If you listen, you've heard me talk about the shirt one day that I put on, and for whatever reason, you guys, I could not leave the house. I looked at myself in the mirror and I felt so naked. It was the craziest thing one of the craziest things I had ever gone through. Because I'm like, I've worn this shirt a thousand times. And it just was the shirt, you ladies, the sleeves are split and your arm is out. And for some reason, that shirt I looked naked that day. I could not leave the house. I changed the shirt. Now, I wore the shirt after that and had nothing going on. I felt nothing about it. Many years ago, again, I bought something from Walmart. I messed it up. And I was in the back of my truck preparing myself to take it back to Walmart and tell them it was messed up when I got it. And I'm telling you guys, and this was some years ago, because I'm telling y'all, I've been growing for a long time, and I'm still growing, and I still got a long way to go. But God deals with you with where you are, with your broken heart, the evil that comes
Mm.
out of your brokenness. Because evil people, I feel the result of evilness is due to a broken heart that you're not willing to sit in the seat of and heal. And so I'm sitting there preparing to take the thing back, and God was like, "Tammy, are we still here? Really? Are we still doing this?" So he was growing me to the point now where I cannot lie. Like it has to be the truth. No matter if the truth is my mistake, meaning I messed up here, or if it's yours. But we so morally, I'm saying that to say it if it convicts you, then it's wrong for you. God is speaking to you through his growth, growing you. And it might be okay. That shirt might have been okay for my friend that day, but for whatever reason, and sometimes it's not about the right or the wrong. It's about the day you hear my voice, the day you hear his voice, the direction he's sending you. If he's telling you to go, stop, slow down, wait, the day you hear his voice. and you're able to discern it, to understand it, and act on it. Because somebody is in a mess that God is growing them through. Is in the midst of a lie that God is perfecting them through. I just believe that. And when we take our eyes off of the world, is it morally right for the world or whatever? Is it morally right for you in this season of your life and how you're growing and how God is growing you and what he's growing you through? Because what he grow Brandon through may be totally different, is totally different than what he grows me through, because we're two different people, right? I had him, but he is still, he's not mine. He belongs to God. And only God gets to prune, perfect, move him, grow him. But guess what? Brandon has to show up for that too. Because God is waiting on a lot of us to build this integrity and character in us. But we still want to be people of the lie, avoiding ourselves, avoiding the work that needs to be done for you to heal. Because there's some evil people, I'm telling y'all. And again, it comes from an evil heart, a broken heart, I should say. The evil comes from brokenness. And people are afraid to face their own failures and some of the things that people have put upon them. So, a lot more of this, but I know we're coming up on an hour.
I want to get to some of those comments. You said you got
Yeah.
that in a second,
So
but
I'm going to start down.
I do want to bring 1 second, if you don't mind. I want to bring up something about why I brought that up, because I
Mm-hmm.
want us today to think about and compare um, objective objective morality versus subjective morality. Is there a space for, does what's greater, right? And what should we hold true? Because what you said brought that up to light to me. Because I think what you said, if it convicts you, then it's wrong for you. I think that can be true to a limit, but I do think that happens because you have pedophiles and rapists who, to them, it convict them, but that's actually it's 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 um imperatively wrong, or it's inherently wrong. So there are limits, I think, to that, and
Right.
so I would
In
balance
everything.
that with objective morality versus subjective morality. Break that down a little bit. Objective morality means that there are certain things that are imperatively good and things that are inherently bad, no matter who you are or what you believe in. And conversely, subjective morality contends that morality is based on what you believe in its singularity. Like, it's only based on what you believe in and what only convict. I think that's a good place to start, and I think God can work on you in those spaces. But specifically, if you have any type of faith that you adhere to, right? If you adhere to a faith, then you must submit to the fact that morality is objective. I mean, is yeah, morality is objective. That it actually exists on something that is moral or immoral. And the intrusion of subjective morality is that what we fight, the desires of self. Right? Well, I think this is fine. Well, I think this is good, though what I say that I believe in contends otherwise. So today, I move on this Juneteenth, on the celebration of the liberation of the beginning liberation of African Americans in the diaspora. Um, where do we go from here? The famous question asked by Dr. King in his last book, 1967. Where do we go? Chaos or community? I think if we come to community, we must take certain objective truths and hold them dear, like a constitution. We need a black constitution, like that sound. And then, and if to go to chaos, that, in my opinion, would be diving and submitting to objective morality completely. like as a monolith, like this is all that there is. So let's to ourselves today how much we are active in our morality and how much we are adherent to the objective morals of which we say we believe in, or that we conscript ourselves to as a basis of believing people. I'll just leave us with that thing to contemplate and to think as we celebrate this day.
Right. And certainly everything in balance. In my speaking about is it if it convicts you, I'm thinking about and talking about the small day-to-day things that we grow through to build character and integrity, and things like that. You know, the big picture, wrong is there's some things for sure. Wrong is just wrong, and there's no in between there, right? So I'm speaking about building your character, your integrity, right? Because this on the flip side of that, the small things lead up to big things. The small lies that you tell to yourself lead to big lies. And then before you know it, you don't know who you are anymore. You've become the people of the lie to your own demise, right? You start to believe your own lies and you tell them as they are the truth. You start to cover up the pain of who you really are and know that you are. You start to fight yourself even more. And the greatest lies we tell are the ones that we tell to ourselves. And the greatest fight that we have is the fight with ourselves. So I'll read the comments and we'll get out of here. Let's see, where do
Okay.
I'm going to start here at the bottom. Kevin Lane says, my
And on
mama
my
has been,
Instagram, guys, it might cut off. It might cut off on my post. If it does, and you want to continue the conversation, go to YouTube and type in this podcast. You can see it up there in the top left-hand corner. That one.
okay. All right. So my mama, KL says, my mama has been teaching me about Juneteenth since I was 6. Ms. Brenda Davis says, not paying taxes would have benefited me more when I was working, but now that I'm retired, it would help. It would help, but not as much as it would have while I was still working. And KL said, why they left England. I don't
He
know
said
what you
something
mean.
before that. He said that's why we left. Why we left, as far as the paying
Okay.
taxes.
Paying taxes
Um,
is why we left England. Okay. Why they left England.
that's what they say historically. They said historically, but truth be told, there was a lot more to it, and they made it up to keep that in the history as a point of building the morale of the American public and their idealism of how America is represented in history. But it was actually more to why they left England, other than taxes. But that is what they taught us in school, similar to how they taught us that Columbus discovered America. And we have to, as Black people, unlearn a lot of things and relearn a lot of things, because boy, the lies are deeper than we realize. But that's another subject.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
I feel
Right.
you on that.
Yeah. So I think we have everything. Yep. We're caught up there. So we're all good, Brandon.
Cool. Well, y'all, thank you so much for the people on Instagram. They got cut off. But it was right as I said the other thing. So hopefully they were able to come through, come on the other side for a quick second. If you did, thank
I
you.
believe
And
some of
thank you
them
to the
did.
people. Okay, great.
I believe some of them went over to YouTube. The number went up a
Awesome.
bit.
Okay, cool. Well, thank y'all for jumping over the social media pond to the other side. We appreciate you. And for everyone that is on the Instagram live, not Instagram live, but the Facebook live and on the YouTube channel, please like and subscribe this both on Facebook and on YouTube. Turn on the notifications on YouTube and let the algorithm know that this is what you want to hear. You want to hear more things like this. And the more likes we get on this particular video, and each particular video, if you can go through and just like all the videos, just do us a favor. We don't ask for any monetary donations. We don't make anything for sacrificing our time, our energy, our brain space for doing this. So we do ask that you like and subscribe to the channel. And my name is Brandon Gator, BrandonGaitor on Cash App symbol. If y'all do want to give a brother a donation, you can. The money sign, Brandon, Brandon, Gator, Gaitor. We might need to have a little thing across the screen. Y'all can donate, help a brother out. I'll take it on this Juneteenth. You hear me? And But other than that, I appreciate y'all so much for joining us. We will wrap this thing up with a reading of the title, which is "Read My Lips." Read my lips. And the quote again from the distinguished African American Eleanor Holmes Norton, the lawyer and legal professor, said, "Many people don't actually lie. They merely present the truth in such a way that nobody recognizes it." And after a passage about how integrity is the cornerstone in building and maintaining success, we came to an affirmation and a motivation at the end that we read 3 times: one for me, one for you, and one for the person that you're going to send this video to. Why don't you guys, if you are on the YouTube channel, take today or yesterday's episode. I got a lot of comments about yesterday's show. People said that they liked that. Send this video to them, this particular one or the one from yesterday, or maybe your favorite one. Send it to them and say, "Hey, check this out and tell me what you think." They do this every morning at 7 a.m. Show somebody that you love them on this Juneteenth. That can be a gift to them on Juneteenth, is to send this podcast to give people some daily motivations for their success. But let's read this 3 times. The truth is one thing for which there are no known substitutes. The quality of truth will be the focal point of my life. That's integrity. The truth is one thing for which there are no known substitutes. The quality of truth will be the focal point of my life. And last time, if everyone could say it out loud, the truth is one thing. It's at the bottom of your screen. The truth is one thing for which there are no known substitutes. The quality of truth will be the focal point of my life. Thank y'all so much for joining us. We appreciate y'all. We're grateful for you. We will be back here tomorrow. Again, 7 a.m., same time, same place, 7 a.m. Central Time for our 141st day of the In This Season podcast. Until then, be good.